So this is how I like to breathe and how I teach my clients to breathe when doing an exercise or any kind of lifting where we're trying to stabilize our lower back and prevent it from moving. So this right here in green is your abdominal cavity. And when I go to, and just for simplicity's sake, just think about like near the bottom of your rib cage down to like your hips or your pelvis. And when we look at this next diagram, so what we're trying to do is increase pressure in that area, in the abdominal cavity. So we have this big rib cage, we have our pelvis, and then we have this gap in the middle. And so if we look at this diagram and we see that little red ball, if we can increase pressure in that area, then we can see how that would help to stabilize our lower back, help us to keep it in a neutral position, which becomes more difficult the heavier lifting that we do. And so how do we actually do this? So I will take you through the two-hand test that I take my clients through. So basically what you'll do is you'll take one hand and you'll put it up on your chest. You'll take your other hand and put it down here on your stomach. And you'll take a deep breath into your gut. You can use either your nose to do this or your mouth. I found that when actually doing this during a set, it's easier to breathe in through my mouth just because it's a little bit faster, so I can get the air in a little bit quicker. So what you'll do is, like I said, you put a hand here, you'll do a deep breath, and you'll try to push out that lower hand using air. So it won't be through like pushing your stomach forward or anything like that, but it'll be a deep breath and try to push out that bottom hand using air. And when you do it right, you shouldn't get any kind of like a chest rise. It should be all down here. So that's how you do it. I'll get into some demonstrations for how to do it when you're actually lifting. Because what you'll want to do when you're lifting is you'll do this type of breathing, and then you'll actually think about pushing the air down and out through your sides. So I like diagrams. Here's a pretty cool couple of diagrams that just kind of shows like what is increasing the pressure in that abdominal cavity. And so this first thing is just your diaphragm. And you can see, again, just for simplicity's sake, we can see it attaches, where it attaches here on the rib cage, but just think about like near the bottom of your rib cage. And then these next four diagrams are your abdominal muscles. And so basically what's happening is like when you contract your diaphragm, that's when it goes down. So it's the combination of the contraction of the diaphragm as well as the contraction of these abdominal muscles that create that pressure. And that's what's happening. But I found the easiest way to think about actually making that happen, because it's not actually like contracting your abs in the way of like, you're not actually like sucking in or like crunching in like that. So I found the easiest way to actually get the pressure that we want is to think about pushing the air down and out through your sides. So here I'm going to get into, here I am Romanian deadlifting, and you'll see, my mouth is blocked by the pole, but I'm actually doing this type of breathing before I ever even unrack it. And so I'll walk back, I'll get set in place, and then I'll do a deep breath. I'll think about pushing the air down and out through my sides, and then I'll start pushing my hips back. So here I go again, and I'll hold. So basically I'll do that deep breath and the bracing at the top, and then I'll hold for the entire rep until I get back up to the top. And that's when I'll exhale, and then I'll repeat that breathing and bracing pattern. And here's just another angle. Like I said, this one you'll be able to see a little bit better of me actually doing this type of breathing before I ever even unrack it. And a couple of quick notes. I go pretty dang slow when I do this, so you don't have to go as slow as you see me doing here. What I'm talking about is like that pause at the top. Like, I go pretty slow in between reps, so I still like the idea of individualizing each rep, but it's just that actual pause at the top. If you can breathe and embrace quicker, and it doesn't take you quite that long, go for it. And then the other note is you'll see on some of these reps on the way down, on the way up, you'll see like my mouth is moving. So it's just a habit that I have. So I'm not actually exhaling or letting any air out. It's literally just like my mouth and lips moving, but I still have that pressure and that bracing happening and that air being held that entire rep. And so here I am doing this when I'm leg pressing, and again, I'll do it before I ever unrack it. And then when the platform is at the top, I'll do the same thing. I'll take in that deep breath, think about pushing the air down and out, and then I'll hold it as I lower the platform down. One difference between how I'm breathing when I'm leg pressing versus Romanian deadlifting. So with the deadlift, the load is over my spine. Even though it's in front of me, it's still over my spine. So that's why I do basically hold it for the entire rep. With this, because the load is not actually over my spine, I will do that deep breath and brace at the top. I'll hold it as I lower the platform towards me. But then, as soon as I start to push the platform away from me, I'll actually do a controlled exhale. This last video is just a close-up of me doing this type of breathing and bracing when I'm leg pressing. And I have noticed that when I leg press, and it must be because of the angle of my torso or something, but I do sometimes get like a chest rise, and so the air isn't quite where I want it when I first take the breath in. So that's why you might see a little bit of a chest rise here, but then I just make sure that if that happens, that I then take that air and push it down and think about pushing it down and out through my sides. So I tuck my shirt in to make it a little bit easier to see. But that's what's going on here. And like I said, because the load is not over me, I don't have to worry about keeping that air in the whole time. I can start exhaling as I push that platform away from me. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below.